If there are 5 or 6 trees closely clumped together, I might fish 1 or 2 on the outside. I don't want to throw it into that middle because I'm sure I'm going to get, as you say, tangled. I love braided line, but if you go to, because it's the abrasion doesn't affect it.
Right.
But if I go to too strong of a line, it's stuck in there. I either got to bring the boat in there to try to retrieve it, or I got to cut it off and lose it. So I'll stay and I'll work around the edge. Doing that, I've found I've caught enough fish. I'm happy. I'm satisfied.
Yeah, those fish they're almost like a resident fish a lot of times where they'll just stay on this edge here, just that one tree. They'll just like live off of it.
Oh, yes. I found that exactly to be true. I've gone actually and seen a particular fish, seen it around a tree, come back a week, 2 weeks later, and it's got to be the same fish in the same position.
And also, the shady parts of these trees too, am I correct? A lot of times they'll move right around the tree with the sun, right?
It depends on what nature predicts or makes them do, dictates to them. On a cool day, on an overcast day, they'll be free roaming. They'll move around. On a very hot, sunny day, okay, so they're going to look for the shade. But then again, like right now, early spring or the beginning of the summer, the early summer, parts of the day, they'll want to be in the sun. They'll move to the sunny side. You've got to fish it to find out, set the pattern. Once you do, like I say, stay with the pattern. I guarantee you'll put your limit in the boat.
Yes,
That is the big bass.
that is big bass.
Get out of the trolling motor. That's what stopped me dead.
Yeah, he came back for it, isn't that something? Got his mouth full of them hooks. Wow. Ooh, look at that color of this one.
Thank you. Come here, you.
You watch your fingers.
I'm certainly going
One thing
to.
that I've always disliked
There you go.
was smallmouth and treble hooks.
Oh, I like it when they take the hook out for you.
Yep.
Come on, fishy, get off of it. Thank you. Come here, you. Come here, you. Okay. Thank you. How's
Look how
that?
chunky that one is.
Well, I'll have to get this.
Yeah,
Hey, what do you think?
That is, look how fat that fish is. Now, Roy, let's just talk a little bit what we did. We came off of this wood here, and you had just mentioned transition.
Right.
Talk about what we had there.
Well, let me let this sweetheart go. She stays healthy. Ooh, she's plenty healthy.
Yeah.
I was talking about the bottom contour and the construction of it. When we came out of the wood, we came over towards, as you look at the woods here on the shoreline, you can see the trees here, and then you look at a plain, an open field here. The same thing's happening on the bottom here. We went from a nice tree stumped area. We're going to hit into some open terrain on the bottom. It's full of chunk rock, same as we see on the shoreline. And it also has a transition of going from a sandy chunk rock into an area that holds vegetation. And it seems like it breaks at about 5 feet into deeper water. I said I wanted to fish right along that edge, that difference of depth contour, and tick.
And this is actually, if you can look down, this is textbook smallmouth bottom.
Yes, it is.
Because we went from a wood area over there where the forest was until this, and you can see down, because it's quite clear here, that it's textbook rock, and this smallmouth are just going to lay on here. And again, probably crayfish or whatever, they're going to be in here, so this is going to really attract
Definitely.
Attract the fish.
It's their forage.
Right, and we can just see the transition here. We got nice, and then right out there, on that edge there, you got the dark water. So they just come up here, eat. I can see a fish swimming right by there.
Yep.
Come back and eat, and then go right out and forage.
What you see right now below us, you're looking at a weed bed. There are lots of weeds and weed beds in the lake itself, in the reservoir. But this one in particular I'm familiar with. Right now, early spring, not the best time. But later on, as the temperatures rise, as the sun comes up, when they're looking for some refuge, they like to go into these kind of weed beds. They can hide out in them, stay cool. Their prey fish, their forage will live in and around. So, hey, we've got it all here. Look what you got. You got the wood, some of it laying on the shore, some of it a little further out ashore. The woods that we just came out of. You've got rock bottom, large boulders, you've got riprap, You've got the transition of depths. You've got the bottom contours that change in their construction. You should be able to stay just around in this area, no matter what time of the year, what season, and be able to pick this apart and get a few fish.
Roy, just talk a little bit about Merrill Creek itself, and why is all this great structure here? It was like it's man-made, basically, in a lot of ways, except for the trees, in a sense.
Yes, it is. Merrill Creek, originally, from my understanding, the property was owned by Ingersoll Rand, the people who make all the big industrial air compressors, and they used the reservoir in times when, in the summer and late summer, when they couldn't generate enough water or enough electrical power because of the Delaware River, which is right behind us, which is what they need to do their kind of operation. So they would actually use water from here and release it into the Delaware to keep everybody downstream happy and with water being supplied to other companies, factories. And then as they closed up the facility, hey, there you go. You got one.
Oh, man.
They turned it over
There's another one
to the water company.
Oh, come here, you little devil.
Are we going to need a net with this one?
Oh, I think we can. I don't know. He's a little toughy. He smacked the living daylights out of that. Oh, you little brown thing. You brave enough, Roy?
I'm going to lift it. There you go.
Nice smallmouth.
Well, he's got a mouth full of hooks.
Yeah, he came right after that. Look at that size of that. Nice fish.
Beautiful fish.
Again, what Roy had mentioned was the transition period. We came from the wood through the rocks, and now, well, he eat that, didn't he?
Yeah, he got both sets.
Now we came onto this chunk rock and the grass bed that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just happened to notice there's a big rock out here, and I cast my bait to it, and came right off of that big boulders there. Look how fat that fish is, man. That's a nice one. Off that little crankbait. Yeah, that's it. All right, so Ingersoll Rand was here. They cleaned it up.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened then?
It was turned over to several utility companies, conglomerate. But prior to their doing it, Ingersoll Rand came in, drained it. They excavated. They actually had a terrific plan. They made it deeper, cleaner, wider. They built access roads. They built all the levees you see. I understand that the rock was actually local rock from the area. They blasted it and made it the right size, did what they needed to do, and made the depth. It's 220 feet in some areas here. They did everything, put in the environment and the habitat for the fish. They made, it's 2,000 acres total area, 650 acres for the reservoir itself. They put a nature trail around it. There's recreational facilities for the whole family. It's a great place to come and spend a day, maybe even spend a weekend.
Yeah, it's a great spot. Again, the thing that I like really about it is that they really have worked hard to create the habitat, and you can tell by the amount of fish that we are actually just seeing in the water. And it's always good to have good polarized sunglasses on so you can see in here. But again, we're seeing lots of fish, and boy, the habitat that they've created is just spectacular here.
Definitely.
I mean, if you just want to fish riprap, you can fish riprap all day long. If you just want to fish wood, you can fish wood all day long. If you just want to fish grass beds, you can fish grass beds. If you get a chance, go to our website and look up Merrill Creek. It's not that far. It's about an hour from Doylestown area, and it's really easy to get to, basically. And the great facility, the ramp is great, the parking is great. You don't even have to pay a ramp fee here, it's free.
Yeah.
So you need a Jersey license and you need a trout stamp if you're going to keep the trout.
I said, your friend will bite. Nice trout there, buddy.
Come here. Trout on a crankbait, smallmouth on a crankbait. This is unbelievable. You don't know what you're going to catch every time you go around.